So, effective last night, at least for the moment, Zion Williamson is a New Orleans Pelican, and for some reason, I really didn't consider that. I don't know, it's just in my mind I had this all going differently. Like, I just imagined that Zion was definitely going to go to a really big market like New York, or to some young team that is already along the way in development like the Bulls. I don't know, for some reason I just really did not even consider the Pelicans. Don't ask me why, I don't have the answer, but anyways, it's all cool because that throws him smack dab in the middle of this whole Anthony Davis saga, which is kind of on pause right now because we're in the playoffs and nothing can happen, but in a little less than 2 months, that's going to be extremely relevant again. Like, as soon as the clock hits July 1st, it's on. So there's a couple of interesting things to talk about here. First of all, how about how the draft actually went? That was the most entertaining draft lottery I've seen because all the teams that we thought were going to be in the top 5 really fell out of the top 5. The Cavaliers really lost LeBron James to the Lakers last year, but the Lakers are the one with the 4th overall pick. That's the thing, right? As it was counting down, I was 1000% convinced that it was about to be the Lakers getting the first pick. Because shortly before the draft, before the lottery, Frank Isola tweeted out that he already knew the results and he just said wow, so he was being all dramatic about it. That made me think, damn, LA really got this. So no, they ended up with the 4th overall pick, which is that's a little less exciting because I really wanted to see Twitter just set on fire with conspiracy theories and everything, and I would have played along too. Like, honestly, I had my memes ready. But anyways, LA's 4th overall pick is gonna play into the conversation soon. So really, what's at stake here now? We could talk a little bit about the Anthony Davis saga. To his last home game, he wore a shirt that said, "That's all, folks." That was like a giant fuck you to the Pelicans crowd, to the whole home crowd. He knew everyone was gonna see that. He didn't care, and we all knew what it was about. It was about his last game in New Orleans. But now that they've wound up with Zion, there's a couple questions here. Mainly, what path do they take? Because what we've all been expecting, especially if you watched Zion in college, we're expecting that this is franchise talent, right? We expect this to be our generation's LeBron. That's what the hype is like around him. He's the most hyped draft pick that I've ever been around for. And initially, my thoughts were, damn, Anthony Davis has Zion, what happens now? Because you even heard the commentators last night as that pick happened, they were saying that David Griffin, his goal was probably going to be to convince Anthony Davis. You don't want to just let an Anthony Davis go. Sure, he has an injury history, but this is still Anthony Davis we're talking about. This is when healthy, and when playing at his highest level, arguably a top 5 player in the league. And even if he's not ranked as top 5 at any given moment, he's got top 5 talent. He's produced at a top 5 level. So you do everything you can to convince a guy like that to stay. But then on the flip side of that, the Pelicans getting the #1 draft pick could also make it more likely that they want to trade him because he's got significant trade value. Even with only 1 year left on his contract, there's teams out there that probably believe that they have the pieces to convince him to stay, or that they're building something that will convince him to stay. Like, here's one scenario. What did the Knicks get last night? They got like the 3rd pick. They're inside the top 5, and we know what the Knicks want. Everything they've been talking about all year has been centered around max guys this summer. We don't get the sense that they're really trying to rebuild with a draft pick. It's all specifically about Kevin Durant. Then there's Kyrie Irving's name floating out there. There's a lot going on with them and potentially getting somebody significant in free agency. So with the Knicks, the Pelicans, what if they want to do something like trade Anthony Davis there, maybe involve another team, and they get some pieces and that 3rd pick. So they just completely start over with their new franchise, go in a completely different direction because of the way Anthony Davis treated them last year, because of his injury history and all those things. Maybe they just want to start fresh with Zion Williamson, believing that he is this franchise's cornerstone going into the next era. That's something they may look at. And it's something they may have to look at because I immediately thought, and it was what I tweeted immediately after they got the pick, I don't know that a rookie with all the potential in the world is enough to convince Anthony Davis in his 7th season he's going into. I don't know that that's enough to convince him to stay long term or to sign on long term or to give another year of his career. Because it absolutely doesn't matter who the rookie is, right? If you're a player like AD and you want to win now, that puts you in a weird spot because even if the chance is just ever so slight, there is still a chance that this guy is not going to be great in the NBA. Hypothetically, right? We all know that there's like a 99% chance of it, but for Anthony Davis and his career being on the line and him wanting to maximize every year he can that he has left in his career, I don't think that Zion is going to be enough to back him off from where he was at the end of the season, which was that's all, folks. That's where he was. And then on the Pelicans side, I think it's highly unlikely that they would try to trade this #1 pick, which is, again, it's going to be Zion Williamson. I did not address that at the beginning of the video, guys. I don't want to hear about Ja and all this. It's Zion, fam. Pick Zion. Don't try to be a genius. Just pick Zion. Whoever ends up with the #1 pick, if they did try to trade it, just pick Zion. But anyways, going back to the Pelicans, yeah, I doubt that their game plan would be to try to trade this pick because it has value. Being that it's going to be Zion, it has value, and you could probably get something crazy to put with Anthony Davis. And that's something that, of course, it just has to be on the table. Not that the Pelicans are even seriously looking at it, but you do have to think that what you're banking on Zion to become in the future, which is a franchise cornerstone, Anthony Davis really already is. You're expecting Zion to be a top 5 player in the future, and again, Anthony Davis is already there. So I would think that that has to be on the table, to be thinking that what could we get for this pick that would allow Anthony Davis to stay, that would convince him to stay. But again, yes, that scenario takes 2. That scenario would require Anthony Davis to want to stay. And I think the more likely scenario here is that both teams are just going to wipe their hands, both parties are going to wipe their hands clean of this situation. I think that's what it's going to lean towards, because Anthony Davis with championship aspirations probably does not have time to wait on Zion and to wait on the team, wait on the Pelicans to surround him with talent for them to actually be a championship contender, because I doubt Zion just makes them a championship contender right off the bat, even if AD were to stay. So that's where things get very interesting, because again, LA wound up with the 4th overall pick. We know that the Pelicans have changed management now. They have a different general manager. They have a front office that hopefully is going to want to be all about winning from here on forward, because the negotiations with Los Angeles, it really seemed like they were just screwing with them near the trade deadline. They never had any intentions of actually trading AD there. So that might have changed now with a new direction. And with LA having the 4th pick, they have a bit more bargaining power now. That puts the Lakers in an interesting spot, because with this 4th overall pick, you have the situation where this is the summer that LeBron needs somebody. This was the vision that Magic Johnson brought him here with. It was that the first year was just going to be whatever. It was going to go better than it did if they were healthy. That was the vision there. But then it was like, okay, summer 2019, we got to get somebody. And so Magic left, LA experienced turmoil, but now all of a sudden they are blessed with this top 5 pick. So what do you think happens now? Does LA use that 4th overall pick to try to get more help for LeBron this summer? Do they think about the future where LeBron is not there? Because that 4th overall pick just might matter if LeBron James is going to be retired in 2 years and you don't want your franchise to be completely screwed. My money is on them not trying to waste the time that they have LeBron James, because again, I sound like a broken record throughout the season. It only makes sense to have LeBron James if you're trying to contend immediately. And so, in my opinion, that throws the Lakers right back into the Anthony Davis sweepstakes. The fact that they have new management and LA has got the 4th pick now they can go to New Orleans and offer a number of young pieces just like they did last time, and also entice them with the 4th pick in a pretty good draft. And so, whereas I thought the Anthony Davis to LA talks were probably dead before, that to me is right back open. LA's got a very big summer. This is going to decide a lot about their future, because failure this summer equals failure for a very long time. It really does. If LeBron's last few years are just wasted here, that is going to spell turmoil for this franchise. So yeah, the Pelicans have options right now, man. They've got Anthony Davis and the 1st pick. So Anthony Davis and Zion, and you can turn Anthony Davis into many things. I hope the best for the Pelicans in this scenario, because if you're not following me on Twitter and you did not know from the NCAA tournament, I am going to be a Zion stan in the 2020s. I'm planting my flag right now, so nobody can come question my allegiance in 2023 when he's in the finals or whatever. And I don't want to see a repeat of what we saw with Anthony Davis's career, where he really only had one time where they brought him decent help, which was DeMarcus Cousins, and then he went down. And so essentially the first 7 years of Davis's career have been wasted. They really have. He's been a tremendous talent with nowhere near a contending roster. So I'm really just, since Zion didn't get to New York where a bunch of free agents are supposedly going, and he's in a small market where free agents are not known to go, this summer is very crucial for the future of his career. I'm really hoping that they handle this Anthony Davis trade correctly, and these assets that they're going to get in return to play with Zion are really going to help him start his career in a better situation than AD started it. And yeah, that is my first entry on the career of Zion Williamson, the first of many, because I will be a close spectator throughout the 2020s, a very, very close spectator. So anyways, let me know what you think the Pelicans should do. Hit the like button, comment, and sub if you enjoyed, and hit the bell next to my name if you want notifications on future videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all on the next one.